They do have a point in saying if this happens, and to be fair, we didn't have technology wasn't as explosive as it was now.
It is more now.
So we were able to tear away from it easier because we didn't have things like cell phones.
True, we grew up playing around outside and running around. And, you know...
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, you know, you get these kids now that are 3 years old, 4 years old,
yes.
haven't even learned to tie their shoes yet. They can work a phone better than I can.
And again, we go back to parents. Make sure your kids are socializing, going outside, joining school groups and things like that.
No matter what the group is. I don't care if they suck at singing if they join like the choir. I don't care what they do. I mean, they can suck at it, but go do something.
And video games aren't a problem.
It's all about parenting.
Yes.
It's all what it comes down to.
Video games should be a reward.
Yeah.
Movies should be a reward. Comic books should be a reward. They shouldn't be a standard.
I guess that's something else I would get at was that whenever I was bought games when I was a kid, they were rewarding me for me doing something or doing, you know, being good. What do I look like?
Look like you're part of the Illuminati. What am I, seal?
I look like Nick Fury.
I don't know. You don't. You're white. Okay, so we're getting...
I can be whatever I want to be.
So today, we're, I just lost my train of thought. I guess Galactus is killing everybody.
He's using some trickery on you.
Using the Force. He would have been a better villain in The Last Jedi than Ryan Johnson. Ryan Little Johnson.
For a guy.
Okay, so now we're going on to the legislation that apparently... What am I talking? We're talking about loot boxes today.
Yeah, loot boxes and I put it in quotes gambling in video games because, you know.
Well, okay. You were talking about this earlier. You want to mention the point? You want to mention the point you had?
Yeah, that both sides of it are stupid.
Because the government's trying to get involved now, and this could be a good or bad thing.
Both sides are dumb. On the left, you got video games.
Not on the political.
No, I'm just talking about like, okay, in this corner, you got video games. And yeah, loot boxes are getting way out of hand and way ridiculous. It's not just loot boxes, just, well, I guess it would all be considered loot boxes, but just opening anything in a game in terms of you don't know what you're going to get in general.
It's just like card packs.
It's just a loot box, I guess. But, you know, they're getting over the top with that stuff. And then on the right side, in this corner, you got the politicians who are getting so ridiculous that they want to just completely ban this stuff, which is stupid.
And I feel like they're doing it because they're out of... I always get upset when people with power get involved in things that they're not involved in.
Yeah, things that they're probably uninformed about. Probably.
Yes, and we talked about that in previous videos. And we need to read... We're going to read through these articles to see what we think about it first before we start, you know, giving opinions on what these people are doing. But
because I haven't read this, so I don't know exactly what it is.
I read a little bit of it, and it's... I always get concerned when the government starts taking charge in like pop culture type things.
Anything.
Because they could just take it overboard, and you don't know. A Republican or a Democrat could be doing this just to get political clout.
Yep.
So you don't... I don't know, man. This guy looks kind of young. Maybe he plays video games. I don't know. But the first article we want to get into is it's by the Washington Post.
Yeah, it's a Washington Post article.
It's titled "Video Game Loot Boxes Be Outlawed in Many Games Under Forthcoming Federal Bill."
Yeah.
It doesn't say all games, it says many games. So maybe it'll be toned down.
I was kind of reading down through, and there are some specifications which make it a little bit better of a bill. But anyway, we'll get into that as we go down.
So let's just read the beginning of the article. Video games popular among kids will be prohibited from offering loot boxes or randomized assortments of digital weapons, clothing, and other items that purchase for a fee. See, now, when we talk about that, so cosmetics can't be purchased? Or would you not be able to get them out of a loot box? Like what?
I don't know. I guess it would just be loot boxes in general, because it goes on to explain further down. We'll read more, you know, further down we'll talk about it, but it talks about triggering.
Hollies, who's a Republican senator protecting children, would create an act called Protecting Children from Abuse of Games Act, which just sounds ridiculous. Takes aim at growing industry revenue stream that analysts say could be worth more than $50 billion.
Yeah.
But one that increasingly has triggered worldwide scrutiny out of fear it fosters addictive behaviors and entices kids to gamble. Okay, here's the thing. You can't entice little kids to gamble. You want to know why? Because parents are the ones with the credit cards.
Yeah, they're the ones buying this.
Little kids do not have credit cards unless I steal them. If I had a child and they stole my credit cards, you know what I would do? I would cancel the credit card.
I don't even want to know.
And I would remove the video game system from my child.
Oh yeah, they wouldn't have it anymore.
But you know, I get mad when people take away responsibility of people. Because here's my thing. Certain microtransactions are ridiculous. Talk about Star Wars Battlefront 2. We talked about that game where anything that's pay to win microtransaction is wrong.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because that basically makes it to where you have to spend money or you lose.
Yep.
So it's game breaking. You can't play the game.
Yeah.
Because you're always going to have those so-called whales out there.
Oh yeah.
That will take advantage of that.
There's a lot of them.
Spend tons of money and break the game.
Mm-hmm.
A good example of that, there was a game on Facebook, Marvel Avengers Alliance.
Yeah.
Where you could buy hero tokens, buy heroes, buy equipment, go into PvP, get special heroes like Deadpool, and they were always the ones that were most popular. Deadpool, Venom, Wolverine, things like well, Wolverine wasn't one, but Ghost Rider was one. And you had to spend the money. I remember you asked me one time because you were at work and you were doing the Spec Ops and stuff like that.
Yep. How
do I get Ghost Rider? And I looked at you and I said, well, you always have to spend at least $5 each time just to get the character, at least. And you said, well, I can't do that because I don't have a credit card.
Yeah.
I just use cash. And I guess you could go get a prepaid card, but you weren't willing to go get a prepaid card.
But I didn't really want to do that.
Just for a Facebook game.
Not to mention, yeah, it was just a Facebook game and it was free to play, so I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to play this game. And because it was a fun game.
Now, to a fair point, I understand free to play games, they have to have microtransactions in there.
Oh, yeah, they have to have some kind of way to make money.
To keep them going. But it gets to the point it gets a little ridiculous, kind of like Star Wars Battlefront 2. Now, people always bring up Shadow of War. I beat that without a problem.
Yeah, you've talked about that before.
People said you have to have certain orcs. No, you don't.
You just have to know what you're doing.
And to explain that a little bit more, I had all basic, and I tested it. I had all basic orcs, and I ran through there. If you scan an enemy, it tells you its weaknesses. So you can kill them easy if you level your equipment up.
Yeah.
It's easy. Other people, I saw them run through it, and they were running through there just trying to kill things, just hack and slash.
That's not even how that game's designed to be.
Dude,
played.
if you go into a war and you just start just running in to a base, shooting, you're dead. So, I mean, but I'm starting to go off on a tangent. There are certain things, I understand certain loot boxes are ridiculous.
Yeah.
Go back to the article. Hawley's proposed bill outlined Wednesday covers games explicitly targeted to players younger than 18.
Which isn't.
But you don't know that.
But it depends. But what games do you consider that? Because most games,
all video games,
other than M-rated games, are targeted to kids under 18.
So is he saying that? Well, they all are.
So, for example,
because it says 17 plus on game games.
I'm a big Kingdom Hearts fan.
Yeah, it's a little kids.
But it's like a. What is it rated? It's like, what's the one?
T for teen?
Like T for teen, I think. Which, I mean, that would be in that vein. Now, they don't have the loot boxes in that game, but a game like that would be put in that realm, you know?
Along with outlawing loot boxes, these video games also would be banned from offering pay-to-win schemes. Okay, fine.
That part doesn't bother me as much.
Well, players must spend money to access content or gain digital advantages over. Yeah, I understand.
That part of it doesn't bother me.
Social media and video games prey on user addiction, siphoning our kids' attention from the real world and extracting profits from foster.
This is where we get into the parents. This is where we get into the parents not taking stuff away and not making your kids do things that they should be doing.
Prey on users' addiction, siphoning our kids' attention from the real world. Well, yeah, dude, I understand you need to go outside and play, but just because you're playing a video game, it's called escapism.
Yeah.
Some people want to just escape from the world. Now, kids probably don't, because kids, to be fair, already live in a type of fantasy world.
In a sense.
In a sense. Because they haven't fully gone through.
And their imaginations are so.
Half of life
out
sucks.
there anyway, you know.
I mean, you start to experience things in life that just suck.
Yeah.
So when you're a kid, you haven't been run through the gauntlet, I guess, which is what you would say.
Yep.
So I understand what he's getting at. They foster compulsive habits. He does have a point. If you socialize a kid at a young age to become addicted to things like this.
Yeah, they are more likely to be
Then
addicted to
yes.
other stuff too. Yeah, I do agree with that.
But, you know, in PC Gamer talks about this, they make good points and awful points. We're going to get into that in a little bit, but, you know, we talk about this. What about booster packs for card games?
Yeah.
Are we outlawing those now?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a percentage. So, and people say, you know, I think they should put the percentages of what you can get on the packs. Well, that doesn't change anything because people still know there's a low. People know there's a low chance of getting something good.
Yeah.
People know.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think what they should do is offer a guarantee. If you spend this amount of money on this pack, you are guaranteed one of these super rare cards.
Yeah.
If you spend a little bit here, you're not. There's a small chance.
We've talked about that in FIFA before.
Well, and in FIFA's a good. They don't like coin sellers. Okay, you know how you stop that? Sell coins yourself.
Sell your own. You know how much money they can make from that?
Sell the coin. Get rid of FIFA points.
That's just a good business practice. I mean,
Make the game like the FIFA mobile app.
Yeah.
Where you have constant events where you can unlock players and make your team better.
Yeah, the mobile app is fun.
The mobile app has a perfect setup.
Yeah.
But they don't want to do that. You know why? Because people are buying FIFA points just in high
In
numbers.
droves, yeah.
Now EA stock is starting to crumble because of this. They talk about Candy Crush on here. Free smartphone puzzle app that allows users to spend $150 on a bundle of goods. Here's my thing. It allows them to. Should we take that away? I don't think so. If they want to buy that, they should be able to.
Yeah, because when you're doing it and you're using the kids as an excuse to do it, you're also taking away the adults' ability to do it.
What kid is spending $150 on Candy Crush?
And like you said at the beginning.
Let me tell you what, if a parent allows that, the parent's a dumbass.
Well, I was getting ready to say,
excuse my language, but they are.
Like you said at the beginning, these are the parents allowing them to do these things.
You are an idiot as a parent if you allow your kid to spend $150 on a mobile game. What's the difference between me doing that and buying a system? Well, because a system allows you to play multiple things or spanning years. A Candy Crush mobile app allows you to do it for 2 levels. I don't know. I don't play Stupid Crush. But, yeah, and to be fair, people may like the game, whatever. I'm just speaking to that's stupid.
That part
people should be allowed to do that.
Yeah.
But I'm acknowledging that if you do it, it's a little overboard and ridiculous.
And I'll be 100% honest with you, I see more adults playing Candy Crush than kids.
Yeah, there are more adults that play mobile games, like that, special Candy Crush.
This next statement doesn't even, I'm not even computing it.
Where are you at?
Right after what you just read.
Purchase made within games?
No, right after what you just said, the rest of his comment.
Holly said?
Yeah, and then right after that.
And when kids play games designed for adults, they should be walled off from compulsive... What?
But you'd be walling off the adults, too.
So how do you...
Wait, so when a kid's holding a phone, the phone's supposed to register their face? Well, it's a kid, so I can't show them this microtransaction, but when the adult holds it, I can show it to them. That part doesn't even make any sense to me.
But
he doesn't play games. He doesn't understand.
Kids can't play games designed for adults unless their parent gives their ID.
Unless they're allowed to.
What do you mean designed for adults?
That's what I'm saying. I didn't understand.
How do you decide whether or not a game is designed for an adult?
I don't know. I mean, I know adults that like playing the Lego Star Wars games on the consoles. I mean, I don't...
You like what you like.
the games specifically designed for adults would be like GTA. But I mean, other than that.
Purchases made within games, often called micropayments or in-app purchases, have come under scrutiny in years in part because children often use their parents' credit cards or their payment methods to rack up charges that can run into hundreds of thousands. Then hide it from your kids. Hundreds or thousands of dollars. How is your kid getting your credit card?
They talk about it in the beginning of the next paragraph about kids doing it without their permission.
How is that
The way
happening?
to stop that is just to force you to have to put in
There's a
password.
Yeah,
That's all you have to add
on
in.
Xbox Live, they have a block. You can put in a code and keep it yourself, and if the kid doesn't have it...
Yeah, it's called a parental... what do they call it? It's like parental settings or something
And
like
I'll tell you what, you know, you stop this, you take it away.
Yeah.
You know why parents don't want to do this? You know why these parents aren't doing this? Because they aren't parents. They are using video games and phones
to
parent their children.
To parent their children.
And then they wonder why their children grow up and are 45 years old and are going, Mom, Mom, I need $5. Mom. I know we're struggling right now, but at least we try to go out and do stuff. This is absurd. We don't walk around stealing our family's credit cards. You know how childish that is? It's stupid.
It made me laugh because it's so stupid.
Parents have complained that to the Federal Trade Commission that such charges often happen without their permission. How is that anybody else's but your fault? How is that so much? It's always blaming other people. I know exactly the type of people these people are. Or end up being much larger than they expect. You mean than they expect? You pay what you pay for. You don't go to the store and buy something for $5 and all of a sudden you have a $15 charge for your credit card. unless it's fraud. Then you call
unless it's fraud. That makes sense.
A federal court in 2016 found that Amazon unfairly charged parents for purchase their children made while using apps that were marketed as free. Okay, now, what are they discussing? Did somebody charge something they didn't pay for? Or did the kid actually pay for it and the parents got, see, we don't know here.
We don't.
Now, have there been times that you get an app and they charge you a fee for using the app and there's a wrongful charge? Yes, that does happen.
That part makes sense.
And you call the company, it gets taken care of.
Yeah.
So there's no issue there.
Mm-hmm.
But, of course, Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post, but I don't know why they put that in here because the Washington Post is criticizing Amazon.
I don't know.
So, I don't. Loot boxes which can be brought or offered as rewards for achieving certain goals. We know that about microtransactions. Psychologists called variable rewards. Yeah, that's why make it. Are we going to get rid of casinos?
I said that from the very beginning.
There's variable rewards in that.
You know, people talk about, well, yeah, but casinos are for adults, but it's still an addictive. It's almost worse.
Meaning outcomes are better or worse depending on seemingly random factors. Yeah, that's what casinos are.
Okay, if you do this, you're gonna have to ban Pokemon cards. Those are marketed for children.
Fearing the risks of addiction. Wait a minute. Are we gonna live in fear all the time of everything? Of everything. When are people gonna start being stronger? Fear of addiction. You can get addiction from doing anything.
Anything can be addictive. Food, video games, drugs, alcohol.
So are we going to start limiting what people can buy in food stores because fast food can be addicting?
It is addictive. It's designed to bring you back, to make you come back.
It can release chemicals in your brain that allow you to want to do it again.
Anything can be addictive. That's what people need to understand.
You know why video games are addictive? Because people use it as an escape from the real world.
Fun.
Movies. Are we going to stop selling movies because that can become addictive to people who don't want to live in the real world anymore?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be the first one to tell you, when I was a little younger, I might have had some kind of addiction to video games. I played them all the time. That was all I was doing. But it was because I enjoyed it. But I wasn't like... But at the same time, see, it didn't affect me.
But it's a hobby.
It didn't affect my social life either. It didn't make me become like a recluse where I never came out of my room.
No, that's the point we're getting at. They do have a point in saying if this happens and to be fair, we didn't have technology wasn't as explosive as it was now.
It is more now.
So we were able to tear away from it easier because we didn't have things like cell phones.
True, we grew up playing around outside and running around. And, you know...
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, you know, you get these kids now that are 3 years old, 4 years old,
yes,
haven't even learned to tie their shoes yet. They can work a phone better than I can.
And again, we go back to parents. Make sure your kids are socializing, going outside, joining school groups and things like that.
No matter what the group is. I don't care if they suck at singing. If they join like the choir, I don't care what they do. I mean, they can suck at it, but go do something.
And video games aren't a problem.
It's all about parenting.
Yes,
it's all what it comes down to.
Video games should be a reward.
Yeah.
Movies should be a reward. Comic books should be a reward. They shouldn't be a standard.
I guess that's something else I would get at, was that whenever I was bought games when I was a kid, they were rewarding me for me doing something or being good, essentially. It wasn't like I went, well, I want this, and then they just bought it and put it in the buggy at the supermarket or at the store, and then just went, oh, we'll just get it for them, no matter what.
It goes on to say other countries are doing this now. Let's go on to the next article by Kotaku.
I was gonna say, I know it's pretty much already there in like Belgium and some of those European countries.
U.S. Senator introduces bill to ban loot boxes and pay-to-win microtransactions. Sometimes I pause a little bit because I ask James to check the camera for me. That way it doesn't cut off when we're talking. Senator Josh Hawley, it talks about the senator again.
1940.
Today announced a bill that would ban loot boxes and pay-to-win microtransactions in games played by minors. Again, how do we determine if it's just kids playing these games?
True, because excuse me, you know, games now are so widespread and becoming such a big part of pop culture that everybody plays video games.
Everybody plays them. So how do you decide? A broad label that the senator says will include both games designed for kids under 18 and games whose developers knowingly allow minors to play.
That could be any game that knowingly allow them to engage in microtransactions.
Is he talking about anything below an M-rated game?
Well, no. See, it says here whose developers knowingly allow minor players to engage in microtransactions. That could be any
That's
game.
any game.
That's any game. And this is the kind of talk within politics that I can't stand.
I played Mortal Kombat when I was 5 years old.
I played the original Resident Evils when I was like 6.
You know what the talk was back then? It's damaging to children. No, it's not. Not if the parents know how to.
If the parents know how to teach their children things and how to help their children separate it from real life. You know, I saw an article, and you didn't pull it up, but I'll just mention it. Not the whole article. I'm just going to mention it. It was talking about Mortal Kombat, the new Mortal Kombat, and how it was so gruesome that some developer suffered PTSD. And I'm sitting there going, how?
Then you're a sissy.
Number one, it's so over the top, it's not even realistic. It's not like it was realistic.
Well, then here's
stuff.
my thing, dude. Turn the game off.
What does that mean? You're developing.
That's
You know what
BS.
game you're developing.
That's total BS. You were a wuss.
I just saw it just this morning.
Unless you've been through things in your life. Let's say they went through a traumatic event.
Maybe they were in the military and they were in a war.
That's fine. But at the same time, you're not reading about this game before you turn it on?
No, it was a developer of the game. Somebody helping develop the game. You know what game you're developing.
That's stupid.
It's dumb.
That's just stupid.
They saw that and I was like, what is that? How?
Well, I was in a war. Well, then you should have known better before you joined this company.
Then tell them you're not going to help them make this game because it'll affect you.
Ask them if you can work on something else because you have PTSD from a traumatic event.
My gosh, man.
It goes on to talk about, the Candy Crush stuff we just talked about, the bill. When a game is designed for kids, the Federal Trade Commission. The bill was originally introduced by Senator Maggie Hassan from New Hampshire, a Democrat. So Democrats and Republicans
So it's both sides.
for the first time are working on something together.
So they're working on this together, but we can't do anything
But
else.
this will probably fall through because they're working on it together. But these people can't even look at each other.
Speaking of, they're speaking of Middle Earth and Star Wars when it talks about how she was original senator right below her. It was some of the games she used.
And it talks about Overwatch. FIFA is a little absurd because you never get anything good in FIFA. If there was a payout, fine. Not to mention it's a yearly title, James. That is something that's ridiculous. That's why I stopped playing FIFA. I no longer play it. Do you play it anymore?
No.
We play the mobile app. You want to know why? Because you get things from events.
Yep.
Have we spent money on it? No. Can you to get good stuff?
Yeah.
Yes. And is it reasonably priced? Yeah.
But we haven't. We haven't had to.
If you make a good game, people will pay for the extra content. I have no problem with doing that. But there also needs to be a guarantee in these loot boxes that you're going to get something good.
Yep.
I've played certain games where it says every 10 openings, the 10th one you will get
This. You're guaranteed this.
you are guaranteed a special item.
Yeah.
The highest rarity.
Yeah. And it could be any item out of that special rarity. It might not even be something you can use, but you're getting something for it.
On the mobile apps like Dragon Ball, Dokkan Battle,
Yeah.
if you do a multi-summon, you are guaranteed an SSR.
Yeah.
Fine.
Okay.
There should be those guarantees.
Every now and then they'll have somewhere there that's not guaranteed, and me and you'll say it like, why isn't something guaranteed here?
And if people don't like that, then allow people to buy the item.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's wrong because it gives people an advantage over others.
They're always going to have it. Well, if they don't do that, then they're just going to spend money and keep getting boxes until they get what they want. I mean, it's one way or the other.
Well, that's why we want to eliminate it. Well, then the game's going to suffer because either way, these game companies are going to get their money back somehow.
Yeah.
They're going to charge extra money for the games now.
Mm-hmm.
So you got one or two things. And I said I wanted EA to bite it a little bit because I want the things to change.
Yeah.
It makes me mad because I like EA.
Mm-hmm.
I like them. But I'm starting to hate them here recently. Because ever since Mass Effect, and maybe it was before that, I don't know, but they've been doing really weird practices in their games, trying to milk every...
Extremely weird. And it's not even in like 1 or 2 games, it's every game.
In Apex Legends, I can kind of understand the battle pass was bad, and the only way you can get new items, you have to buy things in that game. You don't have an option.
Yeah.
And when you buy it, you're not even guaranteed something good. You can't unlock stuff by playing the game. You have to buy things to get extra skins, which is stupid. That's another EA title. I mean, I don't...
I was reading right down at the bottom of that article. It was talking about the Senator Hawley.
What? Wait. I'm gonna read what this guy says. This guy sounds like a douche nozzle, but I'm okay with this bill.
What? Are these the comments at the bottom?
Yeah, how are you okay with it? But you're okay... How do you hate the guy, but you're okay with... I don't understand. So you don't like the guy's viewpoints on things, but you're okay with the bill.
Now here's something...
Wait. Regardless of how I feel about general microtransactions, we'd be better off with loot boxes. At least the ones that require real money being axed. What micro... I get... There's nothing... There are certain microtransactions that aren't bad. People had a problem with Shadow War because they said the only way to progress through the story is to get loot boxes. But you didn't have to buy them. Yes, you did. No, you didn't. There was a thing where you could open up 10 loot boxes at a time by just playing the game. I would sit there and just amass an army of random warriors because I thought it was cool to randomly get these warriors that I would put in the pits and just fight each other. It was just randomized and it was fun. Alright, let's get into this last article. Loot boxes are bad, but new legislation could be worse. This one I was reading through, they made good points and then they made just absolutely idiotic points. As players get angry, lawmakers are taking notice. Yeah? Is that really what we want? Well, when there isn't a change, when game companies are still doing it because people are still buying it, then what do you expect to happen? Loot boxes which burst open and then reveal randomized rewards in games don't exist because they're good for game design. They exist because the industry wondered, how do we charge each player for the maximum amount they're willing to spend for as long as we can keep them spending? Yes, it's called business. If they're going to keep buying it, you're going to keep making it. The answer already exists in a model proven and successful decades ago by baseball and Magic the Gathering cards.
I specified that's the type of stuff that you'd have to ban that stuff too. You can't leave it at just video games and not include everything else in that.
In 2013 book Uncertainty in Games, Greg Kostikian, I think that's how you pronounce that, I'm not sure, describes the success of Magic card packs. When you purchase and open a booster pack, you're always uncertain what you will obtain. It goes on to say, you're going to keep buying this because you want to get the card that you like. Yeah, that's the point. But it's fun for you to open those packs because the fun is not knowing what you're going to get. That's the fun of it.
It is.
And if you get something good, it gives you a rush. Yeah, but that's the addictive thing. Yeah, dude, that's why people like it. If they didn't like it, they wouldn't buy it. The pay to win is the problem. It's not microtransactions in games. It's the pay to win that's bad. Like FIFA and Madden and the sports games. That's bad. Because you can get an advantage over people. Like Magic packs, loot boxes turn the experience of getting stuff rather than the stuff itself and what's for sale and encourage us to keep chasing the delight of what we want. They work because they offer an uncertain outcome. Yes, what we just talked about. An uncertainty and component of good games. Whether it results in botched saving throw in D&D or a lucky bounce in Rocket League. Okay. It's adding money to the mix. That's the problem. What do you want? Do you want it for free?
They want everything free.
Well, you're not going to get that. Sorry, these companies have to make money or they can't keep making the stuff. There are artists that make the cards. There are the companies that get a cut from the.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't get it for free. Sorry. And I don't want to live in a socialist society where these people govern everything. Because then you won't have anything. You'll have exactly what they tell you to get, and I don't want that. I don't want to live like a child where they tell me how to live. I appreciate that Rocket League, CSGO, Rainbow Six Siege, Overwatch, and other games only offer cosmetic items and loot boxes. And Overwatch, in particular, is fairly inoffensive as you can work towards skins without purchasing anything but the game. The way Star Wars Battlefront 2 implemented loot boxes, however, shows the biggest companies are testing with the waters. How much we can put in these things. And like Anthem, they offered a 61K skin that you could buy a wrap.
Yeah.
They were testing the waters.
Yeah.
Don't buy it then.
Yeah, don't buy it.
When a progression system is wrapped up in loot boxes, which can be purchased with real money, it isn't a fun progression system practically by definition. If you made something players can pay to skip, then you've made something worth paying to skip. They go on to talk bad about Battlefront 2 and how it would cost several hours just to get unlock Luke and Darth Vader.
Yeah.
People got mad and they were starting to lose sales and their stock was starting to dip a little bit. The Star Wars movie was coming out, which sucked anyway, so it didn't matter. But it caused a change because people were threatening to not buy the game.
That's what I said. That's what I've always said.
But
That's
this
the only
article-
way you're going to get it to change.
This article goes on to talk about, well, we'll get to it. Are loot boxes gambling? Yes. Buying loot boxes like gambling in casino can potentially be addictive. Yeah. We know that the dopamine system, which is targeted by drugs of abuse, is also very interested in unpredictable rewards, said Dr. Luke Clark. It's the same rush.
It is.
Dopamine cells are most active when there's a maximum amount of uncertainty. Again, that we did get to that point. Yes, it can be harmful to kids because if they are socialized and brought up in that, they are going to become. It's going to become like an addictive type that you get hooked on it. And companies want that because why? That creates an addict forever.
Yep.
So they keep buying it. Yes, that is predatory and that is wrong. So there is a point that they're getting at, but how do you determine that only these kids are doing it? Again, we go back to the parents.
Yep.
You need to watch what your kids are doing and monitor what they're doing. No, we need to allow our kids to decide what they want to do. No, they're kids. A kid is not well versed enough in life to understand.
Okay, then why can't a 10-year-old run for president then?
Exactly. Why can't a 10-year-old work?
Why can't they work? Why can't they build cars?
Why can't they smoke? Why can't they
yeah,
drive?
Yeah, drink and drive.
Why can't they vote? It's because they're kids and they're not grown up enough
And we
to
know
understand.
that. People know that.
But people try to make up rules to
Hell,
fit.
I wouldn't have trusted myself when I was a kid with voting.
And you shouldn't think about stuff like that when you're a kid. You should be a kid.
Yeah.
Have fun. Go out and play.
But you still have to have some sort of control.
Or go play a game, and parents need to monitor what their kids are doing. If the kid is using your credit cards and you find out about it later, take it away. But then my kid has nothing to do. Too damn bad!
Well, that's the punishment of what they were doing.
That's the problem. Yeah, there you go. Take their phone away, take their system away, they don't get to do it anymore. It'll stop. It goes on to talk about, how it's addictive for kids. There are regulations, Rocket League, things like that. And then the article gets into things later on, what to do. The dopamine rush described by Dr. Clark is real, and it's easy to see how loot boxes could get children and people who are prone to addiction to overspend. For that and many other reasons, I love to get rid of them. If not by forcing indie game developers to submit their games to their state's gambling control board for inspection. Frustratingly, though, I doubt the catalyst for change will be reduced profits. Well, they will be if people stop buying it. The truth is that loot boxes are fun to open. I've purchased keys for Rocket League crates because I have the coolest car and spending $10 a year, and there isn't left me with regrets. Exactly. But are you an adult paying for these things? Yeah, you probably work and make money, so you're able to do this. Here's where it just gets absolutely just off the rails stupid. Many probably feel the same way, so I'm doubtful that vote with your wallet is going to force meaningful change. Then what will? When they're relatively inoffensive, people are going to keep buying loot boxes. So how do you determine they're inoffensive? And blaming individual players pointlessly sets us against each other. So there it is, taking away personal responsibility. It is your fault if you're buying it. Nobody's walking into the room and going, buy this now. You're sitting there going, oh. It's your fault if you're buying it.
If you read this next line, I'm going to lose it.
I did read this. This is the part where I was like, this is just... Instead of people actually being... Buying loot boxes, blaming individual players pointlessly sets us against each other. Instead of the people actually responsible exorbitantly paid executives and board members. Wait, what? All I can recommend for now is keep calling out obnoxious implementations of loot boxes. We may not like what we get when we buy Battlefront 2 Premium's currency returns, but EA removed it the day before launch. Shows that player criticism had a significant effect. Dude, it wasn't because people just voiced their concern, it's because they were afraid people were not going to buy it. You know why strikes work? It's not because people go out and get mad. It's because the company is afraid they're going to lose money. We live in a capitalist society. If they're not going to make money, they go under. That's the point. Voting with your voice in this instance does not work. That's just dumb. And don't blame the players. Why not? You're buying it. It is a product made for you, and if you don't buy it, it stops. It's no longer made. Am I wrong?
No. You're right. You know what? Don't know if I want to say something like this or not, but
I'll just go.
You know what? I'm a big guy, so I can say this. This reminds me of the lawsuits back in the day when people were suing McDonald's for getting fat.
Yeah, you remember that?
When you know when you know what the food's going to do to you when you eat it 3 times a day, 7 days a week. You know what it's going to do. They tell you what it's going to do.
I eat these.
You know that those are full of sugar.
Yeah, and there's a possibility I could get a kidney stone again, which is the worst pain anybody could ever feel. But you know what? If you regulate these things and drink enough water...
That's the individual's fault.
Yes. You are taking chances into your own hands. It's your responsibility to control yourself. And if you can't do it, it's on you.
We've talked about some companies doing bad practices in a couple of our previous videos. But stuff like this is not on the company. Stuff like this is on the individual buyer buying the stuff.
You know what? If you want to change, fine.
I don't mind you saying you don't like it.
I always come up with a problem at the end. The problem is, obviously companies are taking advantage of young people. Yes, we acknowledge that was happening. If they do that at an early age, it can set up a life of addiction.
Yeah.
But parents are responsible for their children.
Yes.
So there's that.
There's blame on everyone in this situation. It's not just, and not to mention, it's not just rich executives. The people making the games, what about them? They could come out and say that they don't want to do it.
Well, they would lose their job.
Okay. Sometimes you have to do stuff like that.
People, you know why we have so many problems right now? Because people are too afraid to stand up and say what they think is right in a constructive way. Either people cower behind things,
or they just like try to tear the city down,
or they just go out and terrorize people.
Yeah, they just like throw Molotov cocktails into store windows, and the store doesn't even have anything to do with it.
It's one extreme or the other.
Everything's like that now, and it's just even like the stuff we're talking about today. It's either full extreme in the video game companies where well, nothing should happen, and then full extreme on this side where everything should be gone. I don't.
Companies give the illusion of getting something good and make the rate so low that you're not going to get it, so you're going to keep buying it. Yeah, that is wrong. So they should increase there are little tweaks that you can make to make it good. You know what? In booster packs in FIFA, you open them, you don't get anything good. So every time you don't get something good in a 7.5K pack, the rate should go up until you're 100% guaranteed to get something. So every 10 packs you get something.
I didn't even know this. It talks about it on here. I didn't even realize that like collectible card games and stuff in the 90s, there was a big issue about this at that time too. About gambling, children gambling.
But the parents are the ones buying it. And if the kids, you know what I used to do with my allowance? When I worked when I was a little kid? I'd get $15 a week.
And then it was up to you what you bought with that money.
And I would go buy Pokemon cards. And that was me. That's what I liked to do. I wasn't sitting there going, "Oh, Dad, I don't know what to do. I'm stuck." And my dad was going, "Oh my God, my son is addicted to this." And my dad we all of a sudden just didn't teleport in the car, and the car started itself, and we were like stuck going into the car shop.
All I could picture is your dad like being that, like.
And when I got older, you know what I did? I played video games, because that was what I did as a hobby. And if I got straight A's, my dad would go buy me a game when I was in middle school or high school.
Back when back when you could actually play a game over the course of a couple months and it was fun the entire time.
And then when I became a senior in high school, I started working different camps and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, a little bit after that. But I started paying for it for myself when I was in college. Started working little jobs, getting those things, because that's what I did. And I paid extra money to buy loot boxes and stuff like that. Let's just get to the solution.
Yeah.
Allow all players to buy it if they want to, but also allow them to obtain everything through events and things like that.
Yeah.
But also allow people to get it for free. Now, if it's online where people can get stuff and get an advantage over players, yeah, that is wrong. That should be taken out. Pay to win is bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that allows people just with tons of money to get an advantage over people and it breaks your game.
Yep.
Makes the game terrible.
Yeah.
So then you should allow it through a progression system. Can people get it just by playing the game? Cristiano Ronaldo, fine. But people should be able to get him through an event, a reasonable event, not something where you have to get first place in the world.
Yeah.
But in the FIFA mobile app, again, we can get 90 rated players just by playing the game.
Yep.
In a week. Not in 3 months. Mm-hmm. In a week. Raid Shadow Legends does that well.
Yep.
You just log in, you get elite characters just by logging in.
Yep. Do
that in FIFA. You log in for a month straight, you get Cristiano Ronaldo. Guarantee you people play the game then. Don't destroy it.
Some of the solutions are so easy that
regulate it.
And the fact that they don't see it, it just blows my mind.
Because they don't know how to. People don't know how to do things anymore. It's either one way or the other. There's no middle ground anymore in anything. People have lost their minds. We are now in a culture of outrage now.
Yep.
We can't logically think our way through things. This article makes up good points, but here we talk about how personal responsibility is gone out the window.
And then it just goes into, well, everything's rich people. It's all their fault.
They're the ones making the game, dude. If we didn't have them, there would be no games. So what do you want them to work for free? Do you like working for free? How did you get this money? Who paid you? I don't like reading your articles, and you know, what if this was paid for? What do you have to get on here and pay for it? Should I then now complain and you shouldn't get paid for writing articles? I should be able to view this for free, which I can now, but imagine if this was paid for.
No.
Man, I don't want to pay for this. It should be free. You should have to work for free. I don't want to live in a socialist society, sorry. I like to work and earn things. I like to live in a meritocracy. Personal responsibility should not just go out of the window. Anyway, guys, let us know what you think about it. You know, we have passionate opinions about these things.
Yeah. We give our opinions, huh? And I don't care if people disagree or agree. Either way.
And that's, you know, a lot of people either get scared at that because they don't like people who are genuine like that. They want to be in a safe space. Well, sorry, you don't get a safe space.
Agrees with them.
You don't get a safe space when you come here.
No.
We give our opinion. If you disagree with us.
And we definitely want to hear from it. You know what? I do want to hear if you agree, but I want to hear more from you if you disagree.
If you dislike, comment in the comment section and let us know why you disagree.
I want to know.
Because we want to have a discussion.
And I'm not going to go off and threaten your life. That's not how it's going to happen.
We want to know, and we will discuss things. Yep. Look, you might change our minds if you come up with a good point. And we might go, well, look, man, that's... Oh, sorry. What?
No, I was just going to say, if there's any topics you want to hear our opinion on...
Yeah, tell us.
Tell us, and we'll do a video over it. We have no problem with that.
But don't just dislike the video and leave.
Yeah,
because then we have no idea what you dislike.
That does nothing for us. Or that doesn't even do anything to, like you said, to convince us...
And then again, there's the culture we're in. People hide behind a screen and click a dislike and leave. Because it's easy.
I almost don't like it as much when people click a like and leave.
Yeah, that makes me mad too. What did you like about it? We have no idea.
No. You could have agreed with just one point we made out of all of it. Or you could have agreed with the whole thing. We don't know.
If you like the content, everybody, make sure to leave a like, subscribe for us.
Hit the notification bell so you'll know when we do we release our daily videos.
And the social media will be down in the description below so you can follow us.
If you follow us on that, I post, I put it on there every time we upload a new video. So go ahead and follow us on there. Maybe what we should start doing on social media is start posting,
You know what? That would be a good idea. If you see an interesting article, just post it on there.
Yeah, and the more followers we get, once we start getting some people following us on there, I'll start doing stuff on there like why can't I think of it? It's blowing my mind. Like polls and stuff on what you guys think, and on video ideas and polls on your opinions on certain things.
Yep.
Stuff like that, you know.
Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. These have been frustrating videos the last couple days, but make sure to leave a like, subscribe,
Hit the notification bell.
leave us a comment. We already said all
Have a
this.
good day.
Y'all have a good
Okay.
day.